Streaming live. All right, so we are with Jessa Lynn for another JamTube episode. Today has been a crazy day, a crazy awesome day of talking to amazing workshop leaders that are going to be joining us at Flow Jam this year. So let me get there we go. The camera's on Instagram. We got you. We got your nice profile, your shoulders there. We got it. Okay. So I'm really stoked because Jessa Lynn has been with us since the very beginning, 10 years, coming on 10 years. So we've also been soul sisters and friends for that amount of time too. And she's had a lot of influence in the shaping of Flow Jam, not just what she's bringing as a workshop facilitator this year. So super honored and grateful to have such a strong leader coming in this space, and excited to talk to you about Akashic Records and all things spiritual and how to connect to the divine within us all of those things, and maybe give a little sneak peek about what you'll be bringing to Flow Jam this year, what excites you about coming to Flow Jam this year, what you're looking forward to, and also like, since you've been at the very first one to now, you've really seen it grow and you've really seen the behind the scenes, So she knows it all, folks. If you want to be asking questions too, we'll check later and check back in about questions as she's talking. But introduce yourself, because I just learned in my other interview that there's no way I can introduce as well as you can yourself. So I would love for you to introduce yourself, tell us where you are, and then we'll go from there of like how Jessa, just like Flow Jam, has evolved and came to be. So
awesome. Thank you, Meredith. Hi, everybody. Hi. I am Jessa Lynn Rose. I am a cosmic channel, shamanic and Akashic arts practitioner, and guide to the unseen. The work that I do is really all about bringing people home to themselves, to the connection to the divine, the connection to their soul essence, their truest, purest essence, and to their unique soul truth, and to the unified field of truth, and what that looks like, and how our unique energy systems and blueprints actually change the shared reality, and really bringing people home to their own inner knowing and their connection to their consciousness. So if they choose, they can elevate their consciousness in a way that is not only uplifting themselves, but their community, the people around them, and ultimately all of humanity. So that's a little bit about what I do. And I'm curious, before we drop in any further, if we could just take a pause, take a moment to all come in together. I'm just do a little rattle to bring us into our bodies, so that as we have this interview together, we can all feel what we're meant to feel in this shared experience. So I just want to see if that's good with you and everyone involved. So wherever you are, just go ahead and get comfortable. Close down the eyes or find a light gaze somewhere in front of you. And let's just take a little pause in your day. Feel what you feel, notice what you notice without changing anything, right? Often we move into a breath practice or a noticing mindfulness practice. Just be. Soften where you can soften. And just come home to noticing. Noticing your breath, your body, and begin to welcome yourself into ceremony. Ceremony with yourself, and really that feeling of prioritization, of noticing. And just ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Where can I give myself just a little bit more grace? Just a little bit more presence? just a little bit more ease? Can I take this moment and this breath to honor my path, my purpose, and all of the unknowns that I've navigated up until now? And just take this time to honor yourself for the path as you have walked it, the path as it is now, and the path to the dreamiest, most beautiful, peace and ease-filled version of you, knowing that it is here with you right now. Breathe that energy in. Big inhale. Soften the shoulders. Exhale. Breathing into yourself, all of your power, calling yourself back home to the here and now. And just landing into presence deep inside of yourself. Take as long as you need. As you come home to yourself, take a little stretch. A little twist. And just come back into this shared space whenever you feel ready.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
So, I needed that.
I think we all do, right? Like, we spend so much of life rushing, creating, doing. And while all of that is so beautiful, and it is important to take action and to move in the direction of your dreams, for us to really get there in a way that feels soul nourishing and actually comes from a place of deep honor and reverence and presence that shifts it, allows us to bring more of ourselves, more of our beingness to the table. And often that means just turning everything else down so that we can actually hear and feel ourselves. And that is what I find so special about Flow Jam, is it is an intentional weekend to actually do that, and to do that with people who are the same yet different than yourself, who have different perspectives and walks of life, but are really here to integrate into a new way of being that is less about doing and fast and force, but actually from a place of surrendered love and openness.
Love that. Yes. A consistent reminder of like pausing. And Flow Jam is that. You've been with me throughout the years. You've seen how I've evolved in taking moments, and I think from the beginning I've kind of had a different perspective than other festival producers have about it, because I always wanted to enjoy it. And then there were some seasons or years where where so much was going on that I had to really be in it. But always try to be present and enjoy it, because it is, just like life, there's amazing things happening at every corner if we're present to it and open to the opportunity, and have the, foundation of we got all this support on the other side too, and they're trying to send us messages all the time. So
literally constantly, yeah. always communicating.
Yeah. So learning how to tap in, listen, quiet the mind. I couldn't have done this without that, and without that practice. And I think seeing you grow in that, how you've evolved in, not, because both of us were in DC, that's go, you can go as long as you want. It's it's a cool city to go. And it's awesome to have cool jobs to parade around and go to and do all the things. And then I think one of the reasons why we talked about this, because Flow Jam, anything awesome planted, is maybe starts with a conversation in the backyard with, you know, growing tall grass that was my backyard in DC, like huge grass, tall.
Still a theme, just now in Colorado.
Nice, I like it. Long grass, and we're trying to cutting the long grass, and I don't know how it came about. Like, I think the combination of me selling, or the potential of us selling that farm, getting back from Africa, having people in the backyard, so like literally being like, what do we like to do? We like to flow, because all the three of us at the time that were there were yoga teachers or getting certified, so we're like, hell yeah, we love yoga, we love healing and health. And then also jamming, because we also have this like jam party side. And I know I've evolved in that, like just knowing the music that you've helped introduce me to. So yeah, it's just like, if we were going, we may have not sat down and had that conversation, and also like had the time together to like also really discover for our own selves, like watching you blossom into where you are right now, which is in Boulder, Colorado. Let's give a little shout out to how amazing her background is. Yeah.
You know, I think one of the like truest things, obviously, you know, there's that joke that the certainties in life are like death, something, and taxes, right? I don't know. I'm not great with that kind of stuff. The other thing that for me, and I've known this since I was a small child, the other thing is change. Change is the only constant. It is always there. And it is there as a beacon to help us in our unique soul evolution and transformation. And it is the more we are able to actually listen and know the whispers of our soul, rather than the playbook, right, that has been passed down to us. That's when we can actually start to make these massive life changes that transform us from going and being this version of ourselves that is great and amazing and beautiful and we're learning skills from, but doesn't feel quite right, into living this life that feels like super soul aligned, like you can actually feel yourself making a ripple, right? Instead of just kind of plodding, or at least that's what it's felt like for me. And Flow Jam has kind of been a consistent piece of that evolution for me. It's always something that I come back to, and it's really helped to support me in knowing, like, I have always loved going to festivals. I've been going to festivals since I was 16. I'll be 36 this summer. So just like gives you a nice idea of a good 20-year chunk of my life. And you know, it was always kind of about like the music and like the partying and the scene. Okay. And I've always known it's mattered to me, because my first few festivals, I felt like actually comfortable. I felt held and cared for in a new way. I felt like I had met my people. And so to be able to 20 years later be a part of festivals, producing festivals, involved in kind of the background scene, actually bringing teachings and bringing my soul and my art forward to it, it just goes to show how even all aspects of you, all parts of you that really, really matter, that are really soul aligned, as you transform, as you change, come with you in that process, right? And you can see them as part of your process in the layers. And I think that's what's so beautiful for Flow Jam. I mean, I started Flow Jam in that backyard with you, being like, what do we like to do? We like flowing, we like jamming, let's flow jam, you know, like, let's call it. And it was this 1-day festival in the yard with yoga and music. And then the next year it's like an overnight, and it gets kind of bigger. And it was fun because I started this process like right by your side, you know, helping it as much as I could and doing all of the things, but ultimately started there like teaching yoga, specifically movement based, because that's where I was at in my practice at that time in my life. Mm-hmm. And as I've evolved and grown, as Flow Jam's evolved and grown, I've been able to bring in new offerings as my own connection to self and source have developed. So to be coming back 10 years later to bring a shamanic ceremony and to bring the medicine of the Akasha with me, when I started here teaching, you know, yoga and a very like power body-based practice, and now moving more to like an energy-based practice and bringing that knowledge together in a beautiful way to like kind of marry them together this year in the 10th year, feels so so special, and just like this beautiful thread, this golden thread has been woven through as like my individual contribution into the beautiful tapestry that is the collective of Flow Jam.
I love that. The beautiful tapestry, weaving the tapestry.
Yeah, like ultimately, so sorry, just my dog. Ultimately, like, isn't that what we are doing? At least that's my belief, is we're all bringing our unique selves. Oh my gosh, a hummingbird just is showing herself to me. We're weaving our own individual essence, our own thread of unique color or colors into the universal tapestry. So Flow Jam is a really beautiful space to do that, and to kind of come forth in a safe space and like let your unicorn or wild, like feral self, whatever self wants to show itself in each moment, to come forward. And the practitioners and the musicians that have been involved since the very beginning, like, it truly is one of my greatest honors to like walk alongside of you guys. I watch you all in all these different aspects of life, doing what you're doing and bringing your magic, and then co-creating together, and then doing things on the own. And the golden thread is we're all here to share love, to share connection, to share community, and also our own unique artistry. And that's really important. Flow Jam isn't just about music. It isn't just about the transformational stuff. It's about everyone finding their own unique experience and artistry to bring forward, and to bring that into the collective. And that's really, really unique about this festival. So I'm so stoked to be involved again for year number 10. Like, that's crazy, Mare. That's crazy.
I know, we're in the double digits. Like, I don't know. It was like, and I was trying to really be present for year 9, because I didn't want to like skip through year 9 just to get 10, just to
Yeah. Like, move on to the next thing. I want the mile markers.
Yeah. So I was being really like, okay, 9, I love you. Like, like, because 8 obviously was like really great. And, like every year it gets better and better. Because new offerings come, people get wiser, the community gets stronger. We yeah, we get wiser, so much wiser. Yeah, you get
the hope,
the wiseness of how we've grown. And like, at least for me, I remember 2018, we didn't even have like our ticket, like, a check-in booth like set up. I mean, we had it set up, but like it was really like honor system, so yeah, we've evolved. But it's a beautiful thing to watch the other participants and that have come to share classes, workshops, and see music, or like, be on stage singing music, like the stage that we had in the very beginning to now is kind of crazy too. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, if you keep just like planting the seeds, being present, listening, responding. And like, it's been an honor to be able to like facilitate all of the people that I believe are some of the most powerful healers and human beings, and some of the best like musicians. And I compliment myself on having a really good ear for good music. I might not know all of it, or can spout out names of bands or anything like that aren't on my lineup, but like, I know good music. And so like,
she does have good taste, y'all. She does have good taste, genuinely.
Yeah.
She's friends with me, so just kidding.
The foundation.
Just kidding.
No, I grew from Kenny Chesney and Rascal Flatts. That was my very first. And like, so I grew up, country, like Virginia, riding
country.
Yeah. And then, as I evolved as a human, I was like, wait a minute, I don't really like country. It's just what's always been played to me, like.
Isn't that interesting? It's not just music either, right? So many aspects of life are like that. We like grow up and we hit a certain age, we're like, wait, do I like this? Or was this what I was just like around? And so I decided in that time, because it was easy to like that. Like, did I necessarily want to go like work a 9 to 5 and like No, but I thought I did, and I didn't know I didn't until I realized, is there something else I'd like to be trying? Right? It's just like you with the country music. You're like, wait, I like this, but do I like this? Wait, let me try this other stuff out. And then you're like, oh, I like this other stuff. So much of life is like that. It's like a smorgasbord of the human experience. Like we get to try all of the things.
Mhm.
And Flow Jam is like, come try this, try that. Like it's like the perfect tasty bite, tasty morsel of like all these really cool things and practices from around the world, and music that is also like really amazing, music that's blowing up, and also music that's local. So it feels like connected and close knit while also really expansive at the same time. And you do a really, really good job, I think, of honoring kind of the people who have been there from the beginning, honoring the local community, and then also allowing the community to like thrive and grow. Like we met outside of DC in this space, but now I live in Colorado, and yet I still get the invitation to come and be a part because of the thread in the community. And I think that's really beautiful because Flow Jam is so much bigger than just Virginia. You know, it's all over the world if you really want to think about it, because of the ripple that each one of us that is there and gets to share that time together touches. So to all of the people who are thinking about coming or coming, like I can't wait to see you there and to see the medicine that you bring, and the thread that you share into this space. Because if you're considering it, or if you are going to be there, there's a purpose. There's a purpose for your unique energy to become a part of this shared experience. So I hope to see you there. Come to my workshop. Let's dance together. Let's sing together. Let's cry together. And let's all create something beautiful and new.
Oh, wow. I love that. Thank you. Couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better. Thank you. Yes, I'm excited. I'm getting excited. It's the countdown is on. We're
The
like
countdown, it's here. It's here. Festival season is here, y'all. Like, let's fucking go. Excuse my language.
yeah. It's okay. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited because the more I do these talks, it's like, you know, as a producer, you kind of just get sometimes sucked into just getting the things done that need to be done to produce the event, right? And then at the event, as you know, I really sink in. I love to take the workshops. I'm right up there listening and dancing to the music. Like I'm not hidden away, like texting or emailing. Like most of the time, I don't have a phone. I don't have a walkie-talkie. If you try to give me a walkie-talkie, I will lose it. So yeah, so it's really like incredible to like do these interviews and get excited because I can see it from the bigger perspective that is really necessary for me to remember, you know, all of the impact that it has, and to understand that this is like a gift that I give and that I'm good at and can put these people together that I think, you know, not only like, and it's not about like the amount of followers or whatever they have. I was just thinking about this, like Flow Jam, you know, people don't come specifically because we've stacked it with these headliners. It's really about like that we've been growing from the ground up and we've been nourishing our community and it's strong ties, and like it's just rippling. And I think that that's what makes it such a strong foundation and a little bit different than other festivals that may have started with a big bang, you know.
You've been so intentional about creating a foundation for magic that is not necessarily about creating a foundation of magic to then make a shit ton of money or to make a big name for yourself or things. It is ultimately your intention, or at least my perception and reflection of your intention is it's about the community first. It's about creating something that is nourishing and slow and steady and gracious and really cares about the connection growing and doing so in a really like slow, nourishing way, like I said. And often festivals are kind of this like big bang thing. You do a weekend. I mean, trust me, I spend almost all summer going festival to festival to festival to festival teaching. Amazing. And they are all same, but different, but the foundations and the energies of the creative template that they're moving from are all very different. And Flow Jams is really unique. It is extremely community forward. And I really think you've done such a beautiful job in sharing your gift and your organization, because what your gift is ultimately to just help amplify other people's gifts and to create a foundation for magic, for people to do that, for people to connect and amplify one another. And you really have a nice way of kind of removing a little bit of the ego. I mean, you do a great job of also tapping yourself on the back, which, like, kudos to you. I love watching you celebrate yourself because it gives me permission to do the same. And you really are always like boundaried, but also open and available to create communitively and co-creatively. And often things can be one-sided in this type of industry, and you do a really beautiful job of giving and receiving and hearing and listening, and also being like, yo, we also need to get this shit done. So, let's do this. Like, let's come together. Let's amplify the purpose. Let's amplify the message together. And I think it's really, really special. I also love that you allow all of your presenters and your musicians to like grow and shift and change. Specifically like myself and a few other of the like workshop leaders and bands, like you've helped them throughout their transition just by bearing witness to them, just by still believing in them, even if their transition is like kind of day and night from where they were. You're still like, but your magic is still special. I still want you there, even though it's in a new capacity. And that's really amazing. It shows the multidimensionality of the human experience. And that's like a part of the blueprint of this community, which is really amazing.
Oh, that was so beautiful to hear.
Nakasha's really channeling through me right now and like telling you what you need to hear. So
love it. Thank you. I love that. I received that. Yeah, it's been so helpful to like, people need that, right? And I feel like because you've been with me since the very beginning, like I've really come to like, when you say these things to me, it just empowers me to keep going and have the confidence. And like, that's what we all need. We need our own cheerleaders, like in the background being like, you're doing a good job. Don't forget, like you're doing a good job.
Keep going. You can do it. Take rest when you need.
Rest, slow down. And that's why I'm so happy too that you're coming to Flow Jam, because like we like to like go to workshops and dance, but also like float on the pond. Like I got a 2-seater floater. So, it's already at the venue. Like I'm not even going to forget it in Asheville or anything.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't believe that we're less than a month away.
Oh yeah. We're
in the final countdown. That's 3 weeks.
Yeah. We're like 23 days away.
Yeah. Okay. I
am like getting things printed and getting the schedule out. So I'm excited to put that schedule together. Once the schedule's out, like I feel so much more like at ease, because that's pretty much the bulk of everything. Once everyone gets the schedule, it's like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy to put all that together. So before we like, I do have one fun question, and then I also want to hear where we can. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I don't know what's happening here, but where we can find you, how can we get involved with your offerings outside of June 8th through the 11th at Flow Jam. But yeah, and then so my question before moving into all those things is, what is the craziest, weirdest, and I know you're gonna pick a good one.
Oh man.
Like event, and it can be like synchronistic, it can be great, it can be weird, it could be scary. Seeing as how you have traveled to and from festivals a lot, so like either at a festival, on your way to a festival, and it could be like when you were teaching, or it could have been like during your festival days, just attending a festival, so what's happened?
Okay, well, I mean, so much. I mean, I've
We
said
got this story in the minority that we like that's really long and like that's
Yeah.
a funny one. We'll do that one in person.
Yeah, we'll have to do a special on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been going to festivals for 20 years. So the amount of stories I have is wild. I mean, from about 16 to 26, May until Labor Day, I went to a festival every week. You know, it was like every weekend. That's what I did. I lived out of my car. I sold grilled cheeses and Bloody Marys at festivals in my 20s. Like that was and always has been a part of my lifestyle. I have that like wandering nomadic kind of gypsy energy. I thrive in that place. The amount of miles I've driven around this country is like hundreds of thousands. I mean, it's really wild if I add it up. So to think about my like wild, weirdest, wackiest, most synchronistic, oh man, all right, that's a funny one. Doesn't put me, it's an interesting one. But I went to Langerado Music Festival back in 2007. I was 20 years old, and on the way down to the festival, I got pulled over for speeding. As I got pulled over for speeding, a couple things happened, and not everybody made it from that moment forward. Some others had to stay and were left in a holding cell. So I'll share for now. And I happened to not be involved in that. And so, did what I needed to do to support my people always, right? And chose, okay, it's like, let's go. So it drove 10 p.m. that night in Alabama, all the way to the southern tip of Florida, 12 hours, get to the festival. And I am just like, I can't believe we made it. This is so crazy. And everyone's already there. Everyone's unpacked, end up, we get a camping spot because my friends had gotten there so early. Somehow security was super lax when we got there. They let us drive all the way through, already set up camps. We literally camped right next to the main entrance to the main stage area. And the rest of the festival was just one synchronistic moment of receiving. I have always been such a big giver, and something about this interruption in the frequency of getting there made it was like nope, you're not going to get there yet. The universe was really working and said, this is going to be a challenge. You're going to have this challenge to work through. But then once I arrived on the festival grounds, I was everything, like all of my food was gifted. I had the most amazing camp spot. I met some of the most amazing people. Like all of these little things just kind of unwound. And I left that festival just feeling so grounded and so connected and so like I had learned a lot about how the universe kind of works in our favor, even in some of the toughest, most challenging and confusing moments where it feels like there's a roadblock. It's actually there as like this protection. It's actually there for a purpose. And so I feel like that moment in my festival life really helped to kind of allow me to surrender to the flow a little bit more, release control, and allow things to be as they are. Yeah, exactly. And I've had so many moments like this. And I had emergency surgery last summer. Literally a month before I was going on tour, festival tour, and I was bedridden, like actually literally couldn't stand except to go to the bathroom for 3.5 weeks. I had a festival right after healing from that surgery, and it was a little like, oh my God, can I go to this festival that I'm going to be walking where I haven't been walking for 3 weeks? Like my body is still in recovery. And when I went to check in for this festival before my workshop and get myself situated, I explained to the beautiful crew at this festival, it's Unifier Festival in Vermont, Massachusetts, excuse me. And they were, oh my, so loving and accommodating. They rode me around in a golf cart. They took me where I needed to be. They put me up in a cabin rather than tent camping, all just because I just shared myself vulnerably and was open to seeing what possibility was there for me to receive support. And I think that's a part of my big thread in my own personal learning and my own personal journey is, as a kid, I did everything myself, including my laundry and making sure I got to school on time and all of these little things, right? And I became almost hyper independent and hyper I had a coping mechanism of doing everything myself to make sure that I was safe. And I got it. And through the festival scene and through allowing myself to actually just notice that there are some roadblocks that are there to help support us in allowing ourselves to receive and to be in that space of exchange. I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways I have. And just like how supportive the festival community can be all across the scene. It doesn't, not all of them are the same, but there is something about people who like to go to festivals and like large scale events like this, small and large scale. There's a level of love, of understanding that we have to come together as a community for this thing to work, and so we support each other when the others are struggling, and that's a really big piece, I think, for me. I think that's one of the biggest threads of why festivals are a part of my being.
I love that. See,
Hey, thanks for asking. It was such a good question.
I've been, it's been a theme.
I also hitchhiked to my first ever festival, which was kind of crazy. Back in the day, you could do that, okay? Back in the early 2000s, you could do that. Don't hitchhike now, y'all.
That's what my mom would say in the, like, she's like, well, you could hitchhike in the 70s. And then like when I like tried to I was trying to just like run away. So I like was on the road hitchhiking, and I think I was 12. And then the person who actually picked me up was a friend of my mom's and drove me back home. And I was like, oh, come on. So, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that story, because I have been asking other people, and it's just like fun to hear what their stories are, even though I know you, there was a couple ones that I didn't know. Or maybe I did. I just,
Yeah. I'll have to tell you more details about the first time I went to a festival and I hitchhiked from Virginia to Tennessee. So that's always an interesting story. I've always had a little bit of like wild, a little bit of feral. And I think that's one of my other favorite things about festival scene is like that part of me gets to be seen and witnessed and loved. Because often we're supposed to not be wild or feral, but we're actually animals, y'all. So why not? Like, let it out, let it rip sometimes.
Yeah, I agree totally. Which is why I probably like, I don't operate in the same way as others, because I mean, like everyone, like how we grew up, like what happened to us, whatever. And it's just like always been a constant, like, okay, how can we make something better? And, how do we, like, I just fell in love with festivals, and I think I was introduced later in life. So like right when I like, did that first Australian big day out, and I sucked the teat, just like what you
I got like, oh my God.
24. And I was like, I saw trees breathe, and I was like, oh, I got it. And then I started noticing, the things that I was like, oh, what could be better here? Like maybe no trash on the ground. Like what else? Maybe more live music, not as many DJs. Not that I don't love DJs, but like, hey, I want to see live music as well as like some bump music, So yeah, it's just like how it's evolved, and I'm love that you've got it makes sense that we've been on this journey for a while, over the 10 years, and known each other even longer. So it is my absolute honor and pleasure to get you to come out from Colorado to Rixieville, Virginia, so that we can really make some waves and transform some lives and have our own transformation as well. So Jessa Lynn Rose, how can we find you on your social platforms? What's coming up for you besides Flow Jam? All the things.
Cool. So obviously Jessa Lynn Rose. You can find me on Instagram at the only Jessa Lynn Rose. That you didn't really have to type in the only Jessa Lynn Rose. You can find me on my website, jessalynnrose.com. That's got my whole schedule of events, ways to work with me one-on-one. It's got a couple of my digital offerings, meditations. I do monthly shamanic journeys, virtually and in person. I do Akashic records healing and consultation sessions as well, virtually and in person. So, and I definitely am opening to taking on a few one-on-one Akashic consultations and healings while at Flow Jam. So if that's something you're interested in, please go ahead and DM me on Instagram or on Facebook, Jessa Lynn Rose on Facebook, so we can get you scheduled and like prioritize that time and set that aside so that we can have that intentional time together. I'm super excited. You can find me literally all over this great country this year. I'm so excited. I am teaching at Lightning in a Bottle Festival next weekend for Memorial Day in California. This is a Do Lab community. They are a group that goes to Burning Man every year. So if you guys know Burning Man, this is the Do Lab from Burning Man. It's a pretty huge, cool, fun event. Then I will be in Wyoming hosting a private Akashic ceremony with a community at a Teton Yoga Shala. Then I will be at Flow Jam, which I cannot wait for. I'm so excited to be there. And then you can find me the following weekend after Flow Jam at Sonic Bloom Festival right here in Colorado at Hummingbird Ranch. I will be in the Oracle Portal doing Akashic healings. And then I'm also hosting a Akashic Records workshop there as well, tapped on all about tapping into your sensual soul. So the creative essence of your soul here in this physical body. I'm also going to be at Shambhala in Canada and quite a few other festivals still to be announced. And you can always come see me here at my space in Boulder too. And we also do one-on-one retreats. And I just can't wait to see you. And if you haven't gotten your ticket yet at Flow Jam, now is the time. Let's go, y'all.
Totally. Let's go. Yes. June 1st, tickets go up again. So really, like, what are you waiting for? This really is, the countdown. So get your tickets. We will see you at Flow Jam. Just an announcement. We've got 4-day passes. We've got 3-day passes and overnight and day passes. And we even have evening passes just in case you can't join us for any of the workshops during the day and you just want to see the music. But of course, if you want to get everything out of it and like have the full experience, buy your 4-day pass because there's an amazing lineup on Thursday coming out that will be shared shortly. And of course, the more you get to experience and sit in nature, it's like, the better you're gonna like flow throughout the rest of the summer. Just saying.
Totally. I just came back from a week in Kauai and I feel so juiced up and ready because I was outside. It's indoor outdoor living down there. There's no AC, like everything is screens. And I just I feel juiced up, like genuinely. And I'm super excited because my workshop offering is unique to Flow Jam. I'm not teaching this at any other space. It is going to stay under wraps until we're at the community, but it is a 10-year anniversary ceremony surrounding the idea of nourishing yourself through a phase of rebirthing, right? And when we hit a decade mark, this is an opportunity for us to rest, recalibrate, review, and see what we want for the next decade. So this is a ceremony built all around that, and how to bring that energy into the body by connecting to the soul essence and your unique connection to the Akasha. So I can't wait to share this with your community, with Flow Jam, and to see all of you guys in person very soon.
Yay! Okay, from Asheville, North Carolina to Boulder, Colorado to Virginia, Rixieville, Virginia, we are gonna see you there. So, bye y'all.
Bye.